So Project Trackday recently removed the newly added Silverstone circuit from their track roster because of claims that the track had been stolen. So today we will be looking into exactly what happened this week and who is at fault for this. So if you don't know, Project Trackday is a Roblox racing game that is well known for being the most realistic racing game on the platform. The main reason people have this opinion is because of the very detailed car models. It also has a real life track and very unique car mechanics. But if you have been a fan of the game for a long time, you might know that there have been shortcuts along the success of the game where they've used pre-modeled tracks and imported car models, which is normal for new Roblox games. And now the devs actually want to start a new chapter in the game's book by actually only using original content. I mean, we've seen this first happen when they've removed their most iconic track, Art, mainly because it was a free model track, but also because it was kind of unrealistic. And this kind of showed their dedication into making a more original game until last month. So on the 16th of July, Project Trackday added Silverstone and an update that included track and a few small changes. But when the track first released, there was a lot of issues with it, mainly being too bumpy and undrivable for most drivers, and it also lacks a lot of scenery, which made it feel a little bit rushed. And around this time I also heard rumors that the dev team is a mess behind the scenes, and I felt like this was their first cracking point. But skip forward to almost a month later, or a few days ago from when I'm recording this, I get a direct message from ishark, who is the host of the 6 Hours of Silverstone event that happened like a year and a half ago, and you can see me driving in the event on screen right now. And he was claiming that the game Project Trackday actually stole his track. Now at first I thought he was just being paranoid, because I would expect like two circuits trying to be the same real life circuit would of course be similar to some extent. But after he provided me with proof and showed me certain things, it felt like inevitable that they have copied his track to some extent. The main detail that actually made this very obvious, you're gonna see in these two screenshots, there is a little board in the background that says Casstronix, and that's basically a knockoff sponsor board of the Casstronix brand. In real life, Casstronix starts with a C, but in this board it starts with a K, in reference to one of the devs that made the original Silverstone circuit for the 6 Hours of Silverstone, called Casstronix. And it made no sense that the same board would be in Project Trackday, because Casstronix is not part of the Project Trackday dev team. So ishark took the reasonable route of actually DMing the owners to get to the bottom of the situation. He DM'd one of the owners called Eton, and this guy literally just responded with the most rude and selfish messages ever, telling him we have 517k members, we would never steal assets, we don't steal our models, and he didn't even give him any consideration. And he also went ahead and talked with the track builder, which apparently left the dev team just after he made the track and wasn't even paid for it. But he got even more toxicity from this guy called Luke, which denied every allegation that the track had been stolen until he was shown that little board, and then he started changing his tone. He was still being toxic even though he knew he was in the wrong, and he started asking like, let's call, let's talk it through, obviously knowing he was guilty, which becomes more apparent later on. But because no progress was being made by DMing the owners and the devs, ishark decided to just go to the Project Trackday Discord server and showcase his proof in general chat and tell people the truth. And this is when another dev called Sundown entered the chat. Sundown might actually be the only reasonable person in this entire dev team, but because Eton gave him either wrong information or Eton himself was misinformed, Sundown started off with writing a very long message where he was telling ishark to stop trying to drag their reputation through the mud because the track is not stolen and he hasn't provided any concrete proof. So then of course ishark showcases the proof and shows one screenshot DM of Eton telling ishark, I will give you in-game credits, and he goes was like, why would you give me in-game credits if the track was not stolen? And then Sundown realizes what's going on. He gets angry and then asks ishark to move the conversation to DMs as well. But then what happens is that they make a group chat with ishark, Eton, and Sundown. And first thing Eton says is like, we're not gonna publicly announce this. Of course, he's only thinking about himself and his reputation. On the other hand, Sundown actually started the investigation and put both tracks in studio to compare them, and he realized they're basically exact copies. It wasn't the same track being stolen, but it was like traced over it and remade, and some assets were being reused. And I guess after talking it out, in the end, Project Trackday decided to completely remove the track from the game and post a public apology to all the builders that made the original track. This was in their Discord server, and I believe this was the right thing to do in the end. And in my opinion, this entire thing was mainly the fault of the builder. Of course, he's the one who lied to the devs by telling them he actually made the track, but the way Eton acted at first is completely unacceptable. And honestly, if this game wants to progress in the right direction, that kind of behavior needs to be looked at and worked on. Also, they've claimed in their public apology that they're working on only using like original car models as well, but we know in the game they're still using their imported Real Racing 3 models from when they first started. I don't know if they're working on changing them or if they just got lazy, but it sounds a little bit hypocritical. But yeah, let me know what you think about this. I mean, I would just consider this an honest mistake on Project Trackday's part, but if mistakes like these keep happening, something might be wrong in their team. And also, if you found this video helpful and informative, make sure to smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel. We're trying to reach 20k subs. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.